Hello, this is Tom Britt. West Tennessee PBS is working hard to bring you more local shows and quality PBS programs. And they need your financial help because they don't run commercials, they rely on your support. It's easy to donate. Go to their website, westtnpbs.org, and click on the Donate tab. Your donations to Channel 11 stay local and help WLJT-TV continue their mission to be as local as possible.
Happy Wednesday. All right, you're getting better at this. Today we have a special guest with us, Ms. Lori Nunnery. With more than 8 years in the nonprofit industry in progressively responsible strategic positions, preceded by almost 22 years in the tourism and hospitality fields in significant positions, Nunnery has served as the leader for the Jackson, Tennessee Convention and Visitors Bureau for the past 14 years. Nunnery currently serves on Governor Lee's FEP and Tourism Marketing Professional. Nunnery continues to speak at numerous public events, including regional leadership programs, civic organizations, and conferences. Originally from Lancaster, Ohio, Nunnery is a graduate of Murray State University of Murray, Kentucky. Don't we have somebody else? She said go Racers. Okay, Matthew, okay. Nunnery is married and relocated to Tennessee in 1999 and now resides with her husband Chad and two daughters, Jillian and Jenna, in West Tennessee. So her three favorite local spots. Anybody want to guess one? Rotary. Ah! She didn't put that on the website, but I believe it in her heart. It's truly Rotary. Downtown, think downtown. Come on. Frank, you're on this committee. Chris and, what'd you say? Okay, Frank and Chris, both representatives of the AMP at the farmer's market, one of our local restaurants. Blacksmith, Dr. Woods got it. And what else brings tons of money to Jackson during the summer? Ballparks. All right, let's give it up for Miss Lori Nunnery.
How silly of me not to mention Rotary. I apologize deeply, but thank you for the invitation to come here. It's very exciting. My legs are a little wobbly today, so if I sit down, you guys are all okay with that, right? Okay. I've been clubbing, and I'm not as young. Wait, let me make sure what board members are here before I start in. It is wonderful to see so many friends here over the years. And I need to update my profile because I'm actually entering year 16 at the tourism office, which is quite amazing, if I do say so myself. I was hired in with Jimmy Exum, Tom Hensley, Esther Milam, Jane Alderson, and Bill Sipes. So it's been quite a journey. When I started this job, it was a one-person office, and it was for a long time. And it was a great opportunity. Our budget started out at $179,000 in a one-person office. And I'm going to say this to you guys, and we're on camera, so I shouldn't say this. That's silly. Y'all, that's silly. Okay? In comparative markets, we are woefully behind. That's not a complaint. It's just where we are. And you know what? We're overcoming it. And I'm proud of the work that's being done and the support. On our board currently, Dave Bratcher is our chairman. We also have Brad Little, and I won't make any jokes about Brad. Well, I may make a few jokes about Brad Little since I have the floor and the mic. Other people on our board, Esther Milam continues on the board. We also have Elizabeth Atkins just came on, and Mel Patel. So it's a 5-member board that oversees us. We have both mayors that serve as ex officio, and then we have Frank McMean from the City Council, and we have Cindy Bryant from the County Commission that also serve on our board. So we are a quasi-government agency, and it'd probably be good about right now if I started with the clicker and started to show you the presentation that I worked very hard on. But see, I can talk about tourism, and I can talk about all the challenges we face and all the great things that are going on. But our 5-member board we were created by an act of the Tennessee legislature, a special act. And so we are a quasi-government agency, And one of the challenges that we have, that we face, is that people think that we are, oh, you're a city entity, or oh, you're a chamber. No, we're a government agency. We report both to the city and the county, and we appreciate the partnership with both of those organizations. But our goal is to market Jackson. When you talk about tourism, it's funny how people have different perceptions of tourism. And what is tourism? And I'm not going to read through this. These are just some things that I put down. There will be a quiz. And Carolyn, you're judging, right? She's going to be judging for us for the answers. But tourism, when people talk about it, I've had people say, oh, Lori, you've got to support this, or tourism needs to support this. Our main goal is to generate overnight stays in the hotels. That's our goal, because we are funded with the hotel motel tax. With that hotel motel tax that is 5%, out of that money, that 5%, 40% goes to the city's general fund, 40% goes to the county's general fund, and we operate off the remaining 20. I tell this story every speech, and some of you may be tired of hearing me say it, but I want to make sure that you understand that, because it's not like that everywhere. So in some communities, the tourism office get all of the money, but we understand the important role that tourism plays in helping our community, and we know that both the city and the county are working hard to make sure that those dollars are going towards important things. So when you talk about tourism, why is it important to you sitting here? Because it helps to fund the school system, because it helps essential services, because it helps in so many different ways. Last year, I believe we were at our highest mark, and that was just shy of $3 million in hotel motel tax. So that's 5%. That's the 5%. So if you do the backwards math, we're talking $59 million in revenue generated by hotels in our community. So I'm going to ask you, the next person that complains about another hotel being built, y'all have to talk to them, and you have to say, come on, guys, let's look at this. Jackson's not a small community. There are great opportunities, and we are so fortunate to have developers coming into our community and supporting us. Different things about us, and as I mentioned, a quasi-government agency. We talked about the 40-40-20% split of the money. We also look at sales tax generated. So if you take that $59 million and then let's do 10% sales tax there. Where are my accountants? Yeah, it's some good money. Then you take in property taxes. Property taxes, and I have to update, but as of about 4 years ago, I think we were at over $3 million annually in property taxes, paid by the hotels, not the attractions, just hotels. So there's a tremendous amount of money coming from tourism-related activities that are helping the bottom line of the city and the county. And you know what? That's what we're supposed to be doing. As we look at tourism, I think some of the things to know that are important, you mentioned that I serve on Governor Lee's. I'm one of the older members, which is kind of cool to say, on the task force. I started out with Governor Haslam and then have continued on with Governor Lee's Tourism Task Force. And it's leaders across the state that are getting together to think about how we can move the needle on tourism. It's been a great journey, and I've had some incredible experiences through that, but the greatest thing is working with our peers across the state and seeing what their challenges are. And they aren't all that different from what we face here. But how do they market their city? How do they be respectful of the community? How do we tell the history, whether it's good or bad? How do we share that in a way that is responsible? How do we market ourselves? Where do we put our dollars? How do we invest it? That whole experience has changed how we handle tourism here. And I'm thankful for Jimmy Exum. I want to say Exum, I'm sorry. And you can tell him, Exum and Hensley, I want to thank them both for the opportunity, because I was appointed to that in my second or third year here. And they kind of went out on a limb because we had never been part of something like that, and they supported me. And it's really changed how we do business. So a couple things that we are involved in. I was one of the founding members of Play Tennessee, which is a sports initiative for the state of Tennessee. As we worked in trying to figure out marketing, one of the things that we found was that no matter what was going on, sports continued to grow. Sports continued to be there. And we can say that right here in Jackson with the West Tennessee Healthcare Sportsplex. Served on that committee, founding that, and I also have served for about 12 years on the Tennessee Hospitality Tourism Association, which is a lobbying organization. And we're working on legislation now to make sure to protect tourism funds to make sure that tourism funds that are generated stick to tourism, that what we do and what we generate stays in the tourism pot where we can generate money. It's been an incredible journey with that organization as well. We are, how do you define tourism legally? That's been quite an experience to work through that process, because what necessarily is good for tourism in Franklin, Tennessee is not necessarily good in Jackson, Tennessee. And so trying to create legislation that encompasses all of that, and we're getting there. One of the things that we look at, especially for our office, is the revenue that's generated by tourism. Our commissioner, Mark Excel, most of you would maybe remember Got Milk campaign with the milk mustaches. He was one of the originators of that marketing campaign, and he's been our commissioner. And I have to say this, that out of the 3 commissioners I've worked with, he is on point and focused at what's going on. He understands the money side of it, and he's been able to convey that story very well in Nashville and communicate it across the state. You'll see up on the slide is the Tennessee Department of Revenue. And what he's done is taken the SIC codes and they pulled out what is attributed to tourism. So you'll see those numbers there, and that's across the state of Tennessee. I think what's pretty interesting, and that may be a little more difficult to see, is what we do here in Madison County. And let me just say this, when you look at this is a new transitional analysis that's been developed in the last couple of years. So still learning it, but what it does is it breaks down how that money is spent and what can be attributed to. I think what you'll find, surprisingly, that tourism has it's ranked number 1 in Tennessee for job growth. There are tourism jobs coming along, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. There we go. When I started this job in 2009, we were in hotel taxes at 1.2 million. That has changed. We've grown. In 2024, we reached nearly $3 million in taxes alone, in that 5% tax that we talked about. That's all because of me, and only me, and I'm pretty good. My raises have not corresponded or collaborated, but I'm working on that. If you could email D. Bratcher at YMCA of West Tennessee, that would help. No, in all seriously, there are a lot of things that are going in the right direction, and it's been a great honor to be able to lead this during this transition with a number of hotels. We do have a dire need for attractions, and if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to start a business, we are looking for family-oriented activities. And I know nobody's going to ask about Great Wolf Lodge, but if I were an entrepreneur that had some cash, I'd be focused on doing family-oriented activities that you can plug into that. There's tremendous opportunity there that we haven't. It's going to double what we do tourism-wise. And as we started negotiating this, it's funny, they called, and Kyle may have mentioned this when he spoke. It was like the week before Thanksgiving, and Kyle and I were pretty much the only people in the building. And he's like, "Lori, I got this call." And so we called back, and we weren't sure it was real. Honestly, he may not say that, I will say that. It was like, is this, because sometimes you get some pretty wacky calls. And it was real. And we worked it, and I'm proud to say about the project as it happened. One of the great things about this is in the negotiations of it, we made sure that tourism didn't get chopped off at the knees, because we had some challenges with the Sportsplex project, that when it started, there was a diversion of funds to help the debt, which it's supposed to do. It's supposed to take care of the Sportsplex debt, but it chopped us off so we couldn't grow to meet the needs of the Sportsplex growing. So when we were negotiating this out, one of the biggest concerns I had was to make sure that we didn't get stopped, that we continued and we were able to grow, maybe at a slower pace, but we were able to grow with the increased business. So I'm very proud of that project. And if you see, what is his name? Well, I shouldn't say it publicly. There's a guy on Facebook. When this project opens the doors, you better watch me, because I'm going to have a conversation with him. Because you know what? We don't need any negative Nancys. My apologies to Nancys, but we don't need those negative Nancys in our community. We've got too much to do. Get out of my way. We've got business, and you guys are part of it. I'm in a church, and I feel like I'm preaching. Well, at least it's the choir. Other things going on. So as you look at our counterparts, Clarksville, Tennessee, they have a staff of 8 or 9 people, and they have over $1 million budget. If you look at Kingsport, Tennessee, you'll see about the same. We are a 3-person office, a mighty 3-person office. We have Beth Bolton working group director of sales, and Madison Maroney is working in our events and festivals category. We are looking to hire someone in sports tourism. Haven't found that right person yet, but I know they're out there. But you'll see that compared to comparative markets, we are challenged that way. So what are we doing in Jackson? Well, I often say not a doggone thing. How am I on time? Do I have 2 more hours?
No, it's 12:37.
Okay, 20 minutes, okay, all right. I'm gonna have to talk faster. You guys ready? What are we doing in Jackson? So there's a couple different things that we work on in Jackson. First of all is the Visit Jackson, Tennessee brand. The goal of this brand is to attract overnight stays to our hotels and to show the vibrancy of our community. So some of you may have seen our Jackson Visitors Guide. We print over 40,000 of those. We distribute those through requests online, and then we also we distribute them at events and activities. But our Visit Jackson TN brand is also supported with social media. So we have the website, we have the events calendar, which is the most trafficked part of the website, and it's beaten out a lot of local websites too with traffic on it. We also have the social media campaigns for Visit Jackson, Tennessee. A lot of times when people have this narrow perception of tourism, I want to make sure that you guys understand there's a lot of different things that we're doing. We're not just marketing to tourists. We have to hit the tourists where they are and what they're looking for. And that's the challenge with a $500,000 budget. That's the challenge with the $50 million budget, is how to get to the right people that are coming through here. And so we want to make sure that people know about the hotels and how many hotels, over 30 hotels here in Jackson, Tennessee. This is a good time for a question, maybe a prize. Does anybody know how many hotel rooms we have here? There's a prize, and it's pretty good, I would guess. I would start guessing.
1,200.
Keep going.
41.
Closer. What was that last one? Okay, it's about 3,000, so I think you got it, didn't you? Yeah. Or I think Lori did. Good job, good job. We have just over 3,000 rooms in Jackson and Madison County. I would like, if somebody in this room today, you have a challenge, go out and build me some meeting room space. Please?
Yes,
Please? Please? We need it. People aren't even looking at Jackson for meetings and conventions anymore because the ones that we have are booked up. Call Mary Ross at the DoubleTree and say, Mary. And she's gonna say, oh, sorry, we're booked. And now they're going under a renovation, so it's a little bit of a challenge. We need meeting room space. We need something on the level, at least, if you've been to the Embassy Suites in Murfreesboro, something at least along that level. Believe me, when I have the opportunity to speak to the Great Wolf folks, please, please give us meeting room space. But we do have a serious need for that, so that's on your to-do list. Also, we do itineraries. We try to take different activities that are going on and group them together and then market them out. When I started this job, it was always out of market, out of market, out of market. But what I found, and what's so important, that I need people in market, I need each of you here to understand what we do. So you see us more in market talking about the importance of tourism and why. And because of tourism, do you know how much money you save each year in taxes? And that can be another prize.
Come on, use your voices. I know you know.
J-Town Coffee here for the prize.
$880.
Yeah, 882. You were pretty close.
Is that Daryl? Oh, y'all give it up.
It's amazing. Somebody said, well, how do you prove that? There are people much smarter than I that can do that, and we have the economic impact numbers that we can provide for everyone. But because of the business that's generated by tourism, you spend less than $882 on your bill, which is pretty good. Maybe you can donate that to Visit Jack's or to Lori Nunnery. No, just kidding. Other things that are happening that we're working on, you'll see that we do have an app, the Visit Jackson TN app. On there, you can do events. Say that you're interested in history, you can use that app to search for history sites, or if there's something else that you're interested in, you can search on there. We feature locally owned and inspired restaurants, not the chains. So when somebody says, I need somewhere else to eat, you can go on there and you can look at over 40 locally owned and inspired restaurants and pick it out. Other things that we're doing, and this is a new project that I'm really proud of, is called Hospitality Jackson, Tennessee. There is a misnomer out there that tourism jobs stink. I'll just put it that way, that you cannot survive on that. Well, I'm kind of living proof that you can do well in the community. You can pay most of your bills, except for your daughter's in college, and you can survive in tourism. And so what we're doing is we're doing an educational program that we started with a website with Hospitality Jackson, and then we're going out and we're trying to educate guidance counselors, because not everyone is on a college track. You have those students that maybe that's not the path for them. Well, with tourism, you can advance whether you have a degree or not. It's based on your work ethic and your passion and how hard you're willing to work, customer service skills that are hard to find. But Hospitality Jackson is a new campaign that we're working on. We have a series of videos and the website and some resources for folks to understand the workforce and the workforce opportunities with that. I was able to start that program because of funding that we received from American Rescue Plan. Also, we have just launched the Kids Visitors Guide. As I mentioned, that's one of the key components that people are looking for, are what to do with family and kid-oriented activities. And I was even, as we went through that and we were creating that, we worked with B3 Creative, and they did a great job on this piece. It was amazing to me that there are so many things to do, and we kind of, once your kids get past that age, you kind of block that part of your life out. But it's a need here in our community, and with the activities that are going on through our parks and recreation departments and the government agencies, it's exciting to see how that campaign is going to grow. We have a series of videos that we've launched with that, and it's a part of our overall Visit Jackson campaign. Probably one of the programs that I'm most proud of is our Jackson Hidden Tracks campaign. And this campaign, one of the things that we lack in Jackson is that major draw or that major attraction to get people to stay the night. And so we created this because we needed a way to tell the music story of Jackson, because it's a rich, very rich history. And so we created Hidden Tracks, and it has been so successful. We do a weekly newsletter reaching just under 3,000 people, plus we send it to the state and other media agencies that highlight all the live music events, not only in Jackson and Madison County, but throughout rural West Tennessee. We work collaboratively with Dr. Jeremy Tubbs at the University of Memphis to get this out. He does a heck of a job, but we give it in our offices, we make it look pretty, and then we send it out to the rest of the world. So we market our music events. That, along with the exhibit of the Tennessee Legends of Music exhibit at the Carnegie, is something that we're trying to base to anchor ourselves. And that only makes sense because being located halfway between Nashville and Memphis, what are you going to sell? Well, it's music. And where did those people get their people from? Right here. And so we've got to tell that story, and that's part of it. I would encourage you to take a look, check out the videos on there. We did a collab with Lauren Pritchard and Stan Perkins, and it was a really neat collab, and there'll be more of those out there. We do a duck and cover where local artists will perform original music, and then they'll do a cover song, and then we help to market that. Probably one of the greatest things on there is the artist directory, so this is a way for musicians to help to market themselves. It tells what type of music they like, their inspiration, how to get a hold of them. So if you're looking for live music at your events, you can click into that, and we've got a great list of musicians going on there. This program has been so well received that the state, the Tennessee Entertainment Music Division, is modeling their artist directory after what was done here. So it's pretty exciting for that. Thank you. We're also applying, we've been asked to apply for an award. It's actually an international award with the Music Cities because of the work that's done through Hidden Tracks. We also try to provide programming opportunities for artists and musicians to come in to improve their craft, maybe more so from the marketing side of it, but try to provide resources for musicians. So it's a very important component of what we're doing. We were able to start this campaign because of Tennessee CARES Act money during COVID, and it's been wonderful to see how this has grown and really taken off. So here's what we're doing for our return on investment. It's not me just saying, oh, we want to do this and this and this. We track and make sure that our investments are going in the right direction. And so we watch the website traffic, we watch the engagement, we monitor the taxes, we look at all these different components to get a better picture on how we can adjust our marketing efforts to meet those needs. One of the coolest things that happened, because we had additional funding thanks to the county commission, is we were able to purchase Placer AI. What the thunder is that, Lori? Well, there you go. That's all I'm gonna say. No, Placer AI helps us to look at telephone data, and when they ask you if we can look at it, that's what this is about. This is big brother, little brother, your cousin, your nephew. That's what this is, and so it gives us an idea. So one of the things is people come to us for grants, and we are looking to help organizations that generate more tourism. So we take and we pull this up and we look at it. So we're looking at the West Tennessee Farmers Market, and we take a look, like for example, I took a look at it last year's event when they had the Andrew Jackson Marathon. And I saw it pulls it up and all the cell phone data, and it gives you a lot of information. And you can see some of those numbers on here, but it looks at trends, it looks over year tracking, how many visits within that 24-hour period. And so you're getting some really good data, and I'm not even showing you the good stuff on that. The good stuff gets even deeper. It shows where you're originating. So if I'm doing a marketing campaign and I want to attract people to the Andrew Jackson Marathon, well, here's the area that we're getting, but how can we market and get other people to come into that? And so that's a look. The upper picture is one about the attendance. And that attendance makes sense if you think about the farmers market and the traffic that comes in over the course of the year. You can see when it peaks. And it's just so, and then for those of you that have fundraising events, remember, make these checks out to Lori Nunnery, okay? For those of you that have fundraising events, this data shows the path that people are on before they come to your event and then where they go after your event. So if I'm the Andrew Jackson Marathon and I'm looking at that, who am I going to ask for money because I'm sending them business after my event? That's what we start to look at. Now let me tell you, I could take my whole day and dig into this. But we have a few other things that we're doing. But this is gold, and as we explore this and as I learn more, I'm very excited about the opportunities it's going to present. What I'm most excited about is that as we evaluate grants and as we look at people that are applying for funding from our organization, I can better track to say, oh yeah, these folks, they're coming in, they're staying the night at the hotels, okay. This is a local event. It's not necessarily generating that overnight stay that we're looking for because what? We get that 5% hotel tax? I'm looking for those people that are spending more money in our community, and that's one of the ways that we're going to look at this. Kind of scary how much information is out there, but it's really a great thing, and I'm just thrilled that we're able to do this. On this system, we also have the Jackson Recreation and Parks, and we also collaborated with Jason Compton with the Sportsplex. So those folks were all together looking at this data and making sure that we're making the best decisions about how we're going to allocate our funding. There are tons of things going on. How many more prizes do we have? Just one? Three more? Ooh. Yeah, okay. So I mentioned earlier how many locally owned restaurants there are in Jackson. Hey, there you go. That's locally owned restaurants.
Okay, this is a gift card to Central Creek, one of our new restaurants,
Locally owned.
locally owned.
For Junior Rotarian, y'all give it.
Yay. notice that Carolyn's giving this to me. I don't know this. How many gallons of beer
Yes, that's right.
come out of the brewery, the Hub City Brewery?
Gift card to the brewery, you can use it tomorrow night.
A year.
How many gallons?
I don't even know how much I drink.
A lot?
Yes.
Who said 300,000?
No.
Somebody else guess, come on.
28,000.
Interactive, 28,000.
A little higher,
50,000.
a little lower.
37,000.
I think easier, yeah. They said 36,495.1 gallons.
Yeah, the point one, that's me.
That's good, that's good.
Interactive
Ooh.
and engaging.
Ooh, sprinkle me sugar, that's pretty good. Sprinkle Me Sugar has a famous macaron, as they say, and it is tied to a local musician that was very famous. He was known for Elvis taking his song to #1. And what was the name of the song? Okay. It's on
They
you.
gotta raise their hand, and say it. All right, Emily.
All right, yeah. She has a wonderful blue suede shoes. Try it. I recommend it highly. Get them?
All right, guys.
That's good. Hey, guys, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I'll answer any questions, and if I don't know the answers, I'll make them up. Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
The Commissioner was here not long ago.
Yes.
He talked about the difference between a person coming, like, spending a day versus spending the night. Actually, a problem.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the most recent numbers. I know that it was 200 and over 279 if they stay the night. If they're just coming into the days, it's like in the 30 to 40 range. That's another reason we want them, because they're going to spend more money the longer they stay in here. And that's why the Sportsplex is great, because they keep them those multiple days.
One more question.
Only one more? Talk fast, you guys.
Who has a question? Mitch?
Yes, sir.
Been doing this a long time. I just want to say thank you for all you've done. Folks, you don't know that this lady carried downtown for a lot of years. I think Mr. Exum and Mr. Hensley said, we don't need to, just let her do it. And boy, can she do it. Every
Thank
one of you need to say, thank you, Lori Nunnery.
Thank you, Mitch.
Everybody, thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. Thank you, Lori.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. My office is on the first floor of the chamber. Remember, we're a government agency. I want to make sure everybody knows that. But on the first floor, please feel free to stop by Monday through Friday, and we're here on the weekends because we're entertaining and trying to sell Jackson and Madison County. So thank you all. I appreciate it.
This program you've been watching was made possible through the generous financial support of West Tennessee PBS viewers like you. Please visit westtnpbs.org and make a donation today so that we can continue to make local programs like this possible. Thank you.
It's all about home.